We're back. Hello, this is BTT. It's been a long time. I think it's been, I don't even know if we did one after finals last season. So maybe it's been more than a year. I'm not sure. Or not a year, but maybe 2, 3 months. Not sure. But we're not back in time for week one. We did miss a couple weeks, but in week three, hello. Better late than never. I'm joined, me being Brian, your host, Decadonu. I'm joined by 5 analysts. We have a lot of analysts this season, and you can see by the 5 other faces on the screen that we're going to debut with a whole ton of them. We've got Dan's next to me.
What's
Back
up?
at it again, like usual. We have Pentamaster. You guys have seen him a couple times.
Hello.
We have James or Sataniel. How do you want us to pronounce it?
Just
honestly?
call me Mr. Satan. It makes life
Mr.
easier.
Satan. I like that one a lot better. I like that a lot better. All right, Mr. Satan here. Got Misa or Bear Rock.
Hey, friends.
And then we have Juan or Man Puppet. Hello, Juan.
Hey everyone.
He actually
Happy
made
to
it on
be
time. That's actually kind of crazy.
That's
Alright.
fire.
Because it's week 3 or week 4? Week 4, but we're reviewing week 3. Okay, so it's been a bit. We're gonna talk about how things stand after 3 weeks, and talk about all the games that happened in week 3 and preview the games in week 4. If you were paying attention to the stream maybe 30 minutes or an hour before this, you may have seen one of the week 4 results. Thank God I don't have to talk about it today, but next week we'll go through that one. So as for today's games, not today's games, this week's games, let's just start it off with our game schedule for last week. We had 5 games, of course, like always. MBB versus RB was the one that led off the week. I don't know about chronologically, but on my list, it's the one that led off the week, and RB took it home. Do we have anybody that wants to talk about that game? Maybe not me. I'm the host. I can choose one of you guys. I'm going to pick one of you guys, and if you didn't watch the game, then this is going to be real awkward, so you better pretend you watched the game. Pentamaster.
No, dude, I didn't watch the game.
End of the stick.
Oh my God.
I know it's not watching the game. Imagine that.
Interesting.
Okay.
Imagine that.
No. We're just gonna freestyle this. Okay. Here we go. So I'm looking at the in-game screen. Like you said, RB took the win. It looks like the usual. Man and Brian just kind of ran things. Man carried the game with 10-2. He got his Kindred pick. He plays incredibly well in Kindred. And then, yeah, it looks like Charles had a kind of rough time, and then Ballin couldn't get much traction on MBB.
We saw the debut of Mid-Zack that game. I would know. I played it, but thoughts.
It looks like it worked out pretty well.
Anybody
I mean, Zach's just really strong right now. No?
Do you think Zach's the new BTL meta pick? Or?
I think it depends on the draft. I don't think you can just play it if they have a Poppy Trundle, I think it could be dangerous. If they have any sort of mobility, it's dangerous. But you're going into a Victor, 3 E's.
So strong right now, but we do have somebody who has beaten a Zach already, Man Puppet.
Yeah, no, I think it's great for a flex pick perspective. The flexibility gives you as a team if the jungler can play and the mid laner can play it is wonderful. But yeah, I mean, definitely don't want to play it into a Trundle.
After that RB game, or RB MBB game that RB took home, we had AR GB. The winner was AR. We do have Mr. Satan here, a key member of AR. I'd say the captain of AR. How'd that game go for you guys?
The statement you just made is factual. Game started off, I wouldn't say shaky. GB was getting a bit of a lead top lane, and Steven, as they tend to do, Coco locked in Nasus, threw the gauntlet down in Steven's face and said, "I'm taking the Nasus, and what are you going to do about it?" And Steven ran set, but we played around our bot side with Man Butts in Sherry in her last game, doing kind of well, getting lane control down there. Vid was playing his brand. Somebody gave it to him like a madman, and he plays that thing like a Zed and lives in your head and lives in your jungle and will kill you if you enter it. But we got bot control, took a bunch of dragons and got an early Drake stack, which forced them to fight us when we had vision control and Maokai saplings the whole 9 yards. And so despite a little bit of a gold lead, we overcame it, got our Drake stacked, and ended up winning a few key team fights and winning the game. So calm, cool, collected, keep stacking your Nasus Q Coco.
Yeah, we've seen in the past. Some say that Nasus lives rent-free in Steven's head. Shout outs to Dropout Bear. It worked that game. Hopefully GB, could find redemption in week 4. I'm not saying that they did or anything, but like, they definitely could. So next we have EXO versus PO. EXO took home the W, leaving PO to an unfortunate fate so far. Chase, you gotta tell me. Don't even tell me about the game. What are you gonna do to mentally recover from this? And
Oh,
financially-
wait, is that? Wait, that was an option? Oh,
Financially.
I thought the mental was just like unrepairable after that. No, I mean definitely got to work on some key things, team fighting, and then also work on some draft stuff a bit. But yeah, we're still like trying to figure out how to play League as a team. I don't know how long that'll take to get fixed, but hopefully soon.
Well, hopefully not before we see you in week 7 or something. But you got a lot of time. That's like at least 2-3 weeks. So not bad,
That's
not bad. All right. And then we had TSE versus Deep Dive, where Deep Dive continued their hot streak and beat TSE. Do we have anybody from those teams?
No.
I don't think so.
But
What the?
I could say that
Yeah,
that was a fun game to watch, mostly because we
That was
got
a
our
banger.
first lease in of BTL, with Mina QDAF playing it. She got target banned. All 5 bans going to
Ooh.
jungle picks, and she just busts out Lee Sin and definitely made her presence known. It was awesome.
Mina's a beast. She played like the best jungler in BTL that game. She's incredible. Really fucking good.
Yeah, I love how they went for like an early game jungler and then had a lot of late game potential with the Cassiopeia and the Ornn. So I really love to see how that played out really nicely for them.
We've got a lot of people that are going to contest the mantle of best jungler in BTL, so including yourself, Misa. So we'll see. I'm sure a couple of weeks will shake by, and then you guys will have a tier list available. We can
Wow,
go
you
through
have
that.
2 other junglers in this
Oh,
chat
yeah,
too,
that's true.
and you
This is a
don't call
jungler
them
shout-out.
out. You don't
What
give the other
the
2 jungler
heck?
shout-outs. We will remember this, Brian, come
I
playoffs.
said a lot. I'm not a jungler, I see mid camp and I thumbs up it. I see any other camp, I'm like, come on, man, that's messed up. Give me kills. All right, finally we have our last game of the week: THC versus SB. Going back to Misa because SB took home the dub against THC and sent them to an unfortunate fate as well. Considering we'll go through the standings next, but not super hot in the standings. How'd you feel about that match? Because I think it was a lot closer than the standings would entail. I think you would agree with me.
It was a tough game. It was a banger. It was a hectic game. They were pretty far ahead. What it felt like. I was getting clapped, but my team had my back. That Lawrence top lane with a Singe saved us quite a few times. Brian Horn with his Amumu got so many multi-man ults. I was just there to pick up kills at the end of the game. But yeah, no, we bounced back. I think we were down Soul, and we still end up winning the game.
Yeah, the Singe was insane, running through the whole team over and over and over again. What did you say to Brian in game after he missed his ult in bot lane and then missed his Q and then just walked away sad, but you guys still got the kill?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't remember that.
Should have said, man.
I don't think
Was
Brian
I
saw
there?
that.
Was I ganking? I don't remember
Brian,
that.
Brian panned like way to the right or something. He's like, oh shit, my bad, guys.
That's
No,
where you
but-
say I swapped my last season championship support for this. How dare I?
He might have missed in lane, but he had he had amazing
He had some
mid game
headshots
fights.
over the wall.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah,
Alright.
the entire team had really good plays.
All right. Well, cool. Some teams have had better plays than others so far. So let's go to the standings. I don't know if we have a graphic for it, but if we don't, whatever. I'll just verbally say them. Do we have a graphic? Woohoo! It's the most ghetto graphic of all time, but it works. All right. At the very top, Deep Dive, the only undefeated team left in the league, 3-0. None of us are here, so we don't get to feel that sense of enjoyment, I guess. There's a bunch of teams in this 2-1 quagmire here. What, 5 teams? 5 teams stuck there. TSE, AR, SB, RB, XL. A lot of those members here, so we can speak to them, I'm sure. 2 teams at 1 and 2, MBB, GB. And then 2 teams, a little unfortunately, at 0 and 3. But they'll have their chances to pull themselves out of the abyss. So let's talk about Deep Dive first and foremost, because they're the only undefeated team left, and some of us have played them, I think. I know Juan has played them. Juan, how did you feel? I mean, that was a close game, too. You guys were in the driver's seat most of that game, I think, right? Against Deep Dive? Or was that against TSC? No, you guys played against TSC.
Yeah, TSC, not
Oh,
Deep Dive
jeez.
yet.
Has anybody here played against Deep Dive yet?
I played against them in week 1.
Oh, okay. How did that go? How does that team feel? Did they feel as dominant as their standings look?
I mean, yeah, definitely like a really, really strong team. That was when we ran the people's bot lane. We ran Walker bot,
Uh,
and that game went the distance. I don't remember how long that game was. I think it was. Was it like? It
I
was
can tell you.
almost 40 minutes. No, or was it over 40 minutes?
I feel like all PO games go the distance, honestly.
Maybe.
It was 49 minutes. It was
Yeah,
it was almost 50.
Super long game. A couple unfortunate mistakes here and there from our side, but yeah, they played incredibly well and they jumped. They definitely didn't miss an opportunity to pull the trigger and jump on the other team whenever there was a slight mistake that was made or anything like that. So I definitely see why they're 3-0. Really, really strong team.
Yeah, I think the word I would use is decisive for them.
Mhm.
It really feels like they move around the map really well.
Yeah, I heard D Drew's the shot caller. Maybe a little bit of him, a little bit of Mina tearing up the jungle, and that's a winning formula right there. What about the other 5 teams stuck in 2-1? Which ones of these teams are going to distinguish themselves and keep pushing their winning record, and which ones of them are going to fall and stumble a little bit closer to the middle of the pack? What do you guys think?
I feel like Second Breakfast is not dropping a game, man.
Oh. Okay, I mean,
Okay.
considering there's an XO member here, an RB member here, an AR member here, a second.
They gotta
Breakfast
drop
member
one
here.
at the beginning of the season and then win the rest, don't they? Classic SB fashion.
Yeah, I think speaking since Mr. Satan's speaking up, I think AR was the surprising one to us because y'all started 0-1 to us, RB, who's also in this clump of teams. But since then, you guys have 2-0'd the next 2 comers, and some of those games were like, some of them are bangers, some of them, one of them was a banger, one of them was like pretty clean. How do you feel about the momentum that you guys have going forward now? I mean, obviously, well, considering
Yeah,
you're 2-0, but.
I'd say
expect
we
that to
started
happen
off with
even?
that loss to Red Bullies, and it was like we hadn't played together. In fact, I don't think we'd all 5 been on a Discord call together when we started. So it felt like Bullies and Brian kind of punched us in the face and told us to wake up. So after that, we started getting our shit together and practicing more. The game against PO was a long, drawn-out slugfest, and we were, in my opinion, lucky to come away with that win. It was a tough one, and that was one where we just did some crazy split pushing with Vid on Tristana. He was in the middle of a blizzard and had like 400 ping, so we needed a champion he could just right click with and hopefully win the game. And then the last game against Good Boys, I think we've kind of gotten a bit cleaner, getting to objectives earlier, playing better around each other. And now, sadly, with Cherry leaving and getting Elise in at support, we hopefully will be able to get more consistent practice in with the full 5, and that should hopefully bear well going into the future weeks. Now that we've got a solid group together that can keep practicing and get a bit more time under their belts.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll see which ones actually continue their streak of, or at least having a winning record. Then the other 4 teams, unfortunately, that don't have winning records: MBB, GB, PO, THD. Of these teams, like, which one's the one that they're just biding their time? They're
Dude, PIO, man. I swear, PIO is a top 3 team. I'm not kidding. They're so fucking good.
His head vigorously, like you don't understand, dude.
All 3 of their games that they've lost, they were so far ahead. They were literally like so strong, and they just got to realize like what their win condition is in each comp, and just play to their win con, and be a little bit more, I don't know, on the same page, and they'll win every game. I feel like they've had clear win conditions every game, and they've had an incredible goal lead every game. They just need to close it out.
I think at the moment, instead of embracing the PIO, we're just embracing the PI throw in true fashion.
Oh.
He spent like an hour in the mirror being like, "This is gonna come off
This is-
real well."
You have to say this because it's your fault.
I completely agree. I think particularly in the last game, they picked really aggressive champions, but I feel like they didn't, and they got the lead, but they didn't really close it out. And so I definitely think that they're much better than their current results would peg them at. And once they get that cleaned up a little bit, I think they'll definitely be able to. I just like being more aggressive with the TPs from top lane once they get it ahead. Things like that, I think, would go a long way. Maybe having the Amumu roam more. Just small little tweaks, I think, would make them a really, really strong team moving forward.
All right, moving forward. Speaking of moving forward, we're gonna go to Dan's stats as we talk about our predictions for Week 4. So here we have it: the highlight matchup in AR versus SB. We've got Man Butts in the bot lane.
Boy Aoki.
Yeah, the boy Aoki. I mean, their stats are pretty. There's a couple swings back and forth, but close enough. I think their DPMs are pretty close. Everything seems like like it'll be a spicy bot lane. Aoki is paired with Solo Q. Manbut's paired with Xylease. Am I right?
Yeah.
He stepped in. So how do you guys think this matchup is gonna go, and how do you think the whole game will go? We'll start with prediction for AR/SB as well. So matchup first. Let's hear people that aren't on these teams talk about this. How about Chase as a resident bot laner? How do you think this is gonna go? Manbutts versus Aoki, Chieri versus Solo Q. Or not Chieri, Xylease versus
Yeah,
Solo.
yeah. I think it's kind of difficult. I think like Elise and Manbutts on one side could play just like poke or something to just like sustain lane essentially. And then if they walk out of lane like even, then that's perfectly fine by them. Whereas like Brian, if he wants to be like way more aggressive, plays like a playmaker, and then can also like have way more impact around the map. So I think I'd probably lean towards Brian and Aoki, I'd say, for like winning it. I think they're just like a stronger bot lane in general. But I also think that AR's bot lane can play like weak side bot pretty well. So
Nice. Manbutts had some pretty phenomenal games on like the Varus and the Swain, I think, right? One game. So yeah, his pool is real wide. He'll be looking to show it off. Maybe he'll pick another crazy pick. Speaking of crazy picks, I think Solo Q also has some stuff in his back pocket. I mean, I know he's a carrier fanatic, I'm sure, so he's probably prepping the Callista as we speak.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that
the question.
Callista bot
Who's
lane, man.
gonna be the first support to bust out Callista?
Yeah,
If it's
anyone will do it.
anyone solo,
Yeah, anyone in solo queue. So I'm excited to see it happen. And speaking of which, ARSB, I think we'll just start predictions now. I think we had a pretty big split here. Predictions on the board. AR versus SB. Of the 5 people that could vote, I guess we had 3 votes for SB, 2 votes for AR. This is the closest prediction on the table. Give me reasons why you think AR will win. I can't even see who's voted for him. Nick. Well, I mean, obviously, who's the Teletubby?
It's Walker.
Walker.
That's
Walker.
Okay, what the heck? All right, well then it's just Pentamaster. AR thoughts?
Okay, so I think I put AR here because I don't know if Misa can get enough of an advantage on Mr. Satan, and I think Vid can like stay can go even in lane with Savory, even or better in lane with Savory. But I think the real worry here is just Coco, right? If he plays like some scaling champ, it's pretty dangerous. I mean, he's like super consistent for a reason, and then I don't know how much. I think if Brian doesn't like really show out in this game, then it gets a lot harder for SB.
I can also speak to AR as well, since it was. I mean, I went with second breakfast, but I had a tough time choosing because I feel like it comes down to how the top laners perform and whether the team allows them to sort of do what they want to do. And I feel like for AR to win, I think they need to pick a disengage comp and just let Coco stack up and just sort of carry and split all game and not commit too much to a fight that won't benefit them, and maybe just stick to a plan basically. And then so I think if they can do that really well and execute that effectively, I think they have a really strong chance of winning.
Now that Juan has leaked your strats, Mr. Satan, do you have any parting words for Misa before you dunk on him in AR versus SB?
Don't forget to ban Evelyn. That'll be it.
All right, Misa, do you have any fighting words for Mr. Satan as you guys look to run him over?
Freelo, man.
Oh, Freelo. Oh no. One word, that's all he needs. All right, moving on to our next prediction. Let's talk about XOTHD at the top of the graphic. Ooh, this one's a little bit of a sweep. Don't know what to say about this one. Dan's, I mean, you voted for XO too, but what does THD have to do to win? And why is XO predicted for a full sweep here?
XO I've rated highest for myself on the preseason. I definitely on the XO hype train this season. But if THD is looking to win, I think they need to play together and punish any sort of small mistakes. Like, be willing to pounce at the slightest misposition. EXO has been known to play very well together as a unit, and being able to find those isolated plays where you have a numbers advantage and having a go button will definitely help.
Hopefully, I gotta talk to Coco, but hopefully that game will be casted by myself and Coco, so we'll have a good time in a hopefully what is a banger matchup between EXO and THD. All right, what about PO versus TSC? This one's a little more split. One of our more split votes. We had 2 PO votes, me and Misa, and then everybody else on the TSC hype train. Misa, PO, why?
Dude, I'm high on PO, dude. Like, Walker gets a lead every fucking game. He's like Thanos with Infinity Gauntlet every game. It feels like they just needed to play to the right conditions. Like, every one of their games they've lost because they don't play to their comp. Just play their comp and they win.
Right. I feel the way. I think, you know, as a PO believer here, one, I had to give some bone to Chase. He's
Oh, Chase is insane. Yeah, Chase is probably top two support in the league.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I think
so.
Chase is like, you know, like maybe 2 feet from the edge right now, and I'm trying to keep him back, right? So that's why I voted for PO. But I do think other games have been real close, and I think they can be really competitive. They just gotta learn how the comps play, and once that happens, once it clicks, then it's over for the league. They're gonna win streak to the end. So, however, everybody else seems to be a PO hater. Unfortunate. So, Mr. Satan, why are you a PO hater?
It's not that I'm a PO hater. It's that as a ex-member of the student council, I gotta support the boys. And
That's
yeah,
understandable.
Walker
I
has done a
respect
great job getting advantages, but he's facing my boy Plobe the Warrior, and I don't know if he can overtake that that level of the challenge. So I'm sticking with TSC, sticking with the boys, and praying they come through with a win.
All right. Next we got Deep Dive versus MBB. Another sweep, a little unfortunate. We got Deep Dive across the board. I don't think this is too surprising. They're the undefeated team, and MBB has had some struggles since week 1. But you know, somebody tell me, Juan, tell me what can MBB do to like make this their time to shine instead?
Yeah, I would love to see them play around their bot lane. I think they have a very strong bot lane, and I think if they can just get them snowballing, I think they have a very strong chance of winning the game. I'd love to see, you know, an early game jungler to help in that sort of aim. Get bot lane, you know, chain gank, just camp bot. Do we have to do to, you know, get them cooking? And I feel like if they can sort of match, you know, Deep Dive's aggression with their own and get bot lane fed, then I think they can potentially dethrone them.
We'll see if there's an upset in the making here for Deep Dive versus MBB. Analysts say no, but you know, there's always a chance. Next, AR versus SB, already went through that, so don't need to hit it again. By the way, that one will also be casted by Tate and Drew, so look forward to that on the stream. And finally, GB versus RB. You know, I don't want to say that I'm the only one here without an incorrect prediction. I mean, I haven't been wrong all split, but you know, I might be the only one here with without
this
missing
is not
any predictions.
Son of a bitch.
This is some power move from Brian. He saw the predictions before the match. He said, I'm gonna make everybody else start 0-1 in their predictions right here, right now.
Right. Well, I
think,
think this will be a spicy matchup. I mean, definitely, it could even go down to like a backdoor. I don't know. That'd be crazy, but you know, we'll
Hopefully
see.
they
what
haven't been
happens
watching
with
too
that
many
one.
PO games.
Yeah.
I hate to throw away a victory or anything like that.
Yeah, that'll never happen. That's crazy. RB not capable of it, but right. Anyways, moving on now. The last thing we gotta do here, I think, are the questions to the crowd because we've already been through the standings, and that's cool. And we already know what's happening next week. So, questions from the crowd for everybody here. Thank you for your patience. Number 1 question from Bananas: is Misa in heaven or something? I'm sure she's referring to the halo around your head.
I might be in heaven. Yes, Bananas.
Nice. We play you.
Or my office. One of the two.
Gotcha. I hope it's in heaven because we play you next week, and if you're already gone to another realm, then I
Yeah.
don't play.
True. Might have to find the sub.
All right. Cue from Bananas to Chase. Who puts the pillow under the blanket when you make your bed?
Oh, I don't have a headboard, so I can't like lean the pillows back aesthetically, or they like slip in between the wall and the bed. So they just.
Banana's asking the
One
real
goes
questions
everywhere.
here, man.
Have you
Yeah.
considered buying a headboard?
It's too expensive. I don't really need it, you know.
No, you don't need one.
Wow.
And he responds with, "You don't need a headboard," in all caps.
Comment from Nishant. Man Puppet, as a fellow beanie enjoyer, I love your beanie and Dan's.
I also love Dan's.
Which
It was
beanie does
sus.
he like more though? That's the real question. But
I
because
mean,
he
he-
called out Man Puppet first, I'm thinking it's Man Puppet.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely called out Man Puppet first, and then
right.
afterwards, mine had to be pointed out.
All right, from Vid the Mid, who is the most attractive player and why is it the Nick Mead? I'm gonna let you handle that one, Pentamaster.
Oh, what? I mean, I don't really need to explain
I like
anything.
random
They're on the
names.
spot.
It's I don't need to explain it. It's the Nick Mead.
It's the
Have
Nick
you
Mead,
seen
man.
him? It's
the
like
Nick Mead.
if you just look up like attractive, it's just him everywhere, right? Like that's
The definition is just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
it's-
Name
name.
is a
Yeah,
synonym
it's
in
just-
thesaurus.
she just shows a picture
gotta
of him and
make
it's
that
like,
Urban
look
Dictionary
at this
and have
guy.
the whole league upvote it.
Did you guys see his last game too? That was pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last game. Never happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'm sure he'll probably do pretty well this week, though. You know.
All right. Next question from Coco the Dragon. When is the 2023 BTT analyst calendar releasing?
Ooh.
Oh,
End of the
wait.
year.
You can make it
End of the
happen.
year.
We need to have
You
Nicky
gotta-
guest
you gotta go
star
to
on
Malibu
I
for
call
that.
June.
We'll go to Malibu for that one, easy. Instead of a hype video, we'll make a calendar hype video. It'd be great. And then final question, Bananas. Where are the plants, Chase? In the
I
story
don't have any new ones, but I mean I have a couple plants like outside my room that I can grab real fast if I have to.
Well, hopefully, while you're not paying attention to them, they don't wither like P.O.'s record did
Okay,
this season.
hold on.
Oh
You just
my
keep
god!
talking.
Damn.
Why are you doing like that, dude?
Holy fuck.
Oh no, he's getting plants.
While Chase is gone, is there any players that has surprised anyone?
Let's see. Players that have surprised or I'm hyped for. Look, after that Singe game, Enderism.
Give me Ender.
Holy crap! Give me more Enderism. Let's see who else.
I mean, I think.
I think
Mina
we
is-
already called attention to
Mina
it.
in the jungle, dude. I think for me, Mina is like insane.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, me and Mina both role swapping into jungle, and I think we saw Mina last season because she swapped into the jungle for playoffs.
I think she's a
And-
jungle main, no? I
Hmm?
could be wrong. I think
thought
she's a
she-
jungle main.
I thought
She
support
is. No,
Oh,
she
I think
is
we're-
jungle main.
Alright.
and
Who
swapping
knows?
back to
Everything.
primary
Yeah,
role,
everything.
and they've both swapped in and kind of like thrown the top of the table for jungle standings, in my opinion, into complete disarray.
Wait, Chase, why
And-
don't you do the plants
It's tough.
all the time?
Just
That looks
put 'em
so
on my
good.
bed every-
Yeah, that looks so good.
You're looking clean.
All right.
Once I get
well,
more, I'll put them everywhere.
Nice plans, Chase. Glad you didn't hear my
Thank you.
last comment.
I heard it.
All right. I don't think we have anything else left. So that's about it. See you guys next week, and hopefully by then we'll have all the week 4 games in, and I can continue being a perfect analyst, unlike you guys who have already fucked up. That's a little unfortunate, but we'll see a week from now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you to all the analysts. Thank you, Misa, Mr. Satan, Juan, Chase, and Dan's for joining me on this adventure. I don't know who I'll have next week. The rest of you I'll consider dead to me. So thanks to everybody else. Goodbye.
A good one, friends.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.